All right, so you just bought a trailer and you gave your money to this guy. Now before buying it, you should have watched my pre-purchase inspection video. But since we're here, let's go over our post-purchase inspection. Whether you're using the trailer daily or once a year to get the boat out of the water, the list we're about to cover is going to make sure you hit the road safely every time. A trailer inspection, what are we going to be looking for? We're going to go over 5 things. We're going to get the frame, the brakes, the bearings, the tires, and the wiring. Let's get started. So there's 2 big things we want to go over when we're looking at our frames. And number 1 is going to be all of the welds at all of our seams. You want to make sure that all of these welds are in good condition and not cracked. The other thing that we're going to be checking for is any rust or rot that is going to happen on the trailer, causing an unsafe condition. On our inspection, we found a weld on our trailer, and it's not in the best of condition, but there's nothing cracked. This is something that we're going to keep an eye on, but should be okay for now. Get under your trailer and check out every joint. It's going to be worth it for your safety and everybody else's on the road. All right, the next thing we got to check out is our brakes. Now this isn't going to be applicable on all trailers like the small utility one. However, bigger trailers, they do have them and they're important to check. And I think we had a nice big shiny one around here somewhere. Yeah, right here. I highly recommend taking the wheel off of each axle and taking a look at your brakes. And there's 2 things we want to check out. We want to check out our pad life. You can look down and you can see these are basically brand new. This has plenty of life. The other thing you're going to do is check out your rotors. You want to make sure they are not totally rusted or rotted and make sure they have good life as well. This whole brake system seems to be functioning fine. The last thing we're going to look at on our brake system is our brake lines. We have flexible lines going to the caliper. You want to check these out. Make sure there's no rips, tears, anything that's going to stop it from doing its job. The other line we're going to look at is the hard lines that are run by the frame. You want to check all of these out, make sure there's no rot or any holes in them. Now, if you've gone over all of these items and they all look like they're in working condition, you're good to go. All right, so I put the trailer on a jack here so we can spin our wheel. And what we're going to do is we're going to check out our bearings. To do that, we're going to check the play in them. We're going to push up and down. And you can hear the rock in there. That's no good. There's not supposed to be any play in and out on these. The other thing we'll do is give it a spin and give it a listen. It's supposed to sound nice and smooth, not like a bag of rocks. Here we have our 2 wheel bearings. Now go ahead and take a listen and tell me which one needs maintenance. We're going to look at the overall health of our tire, and we're going to check out our sidewall. We want to make sure there's no dry cracking, any rips or tears. If you find something, try and push on it. This one's just surface. We don't have to worry about that. We want to check in between our tread and look for any dry cracking. This is exactly what we're looking for right here. This is no good. I would say this tire needs to be replaced. That's a pretty good deep dry crack, and I wouldn't want to run that down the road. We're going to check our tire to see what our max PSI rating is. Right here you can see that it's 50 PSI while cold, so we're going to aim to not go over that number. Ours is inflated to 18 PSI, which is wrong. That's more like it. The next thing we're going to find for our tire is going to be our speed rating. This is going to be the last letter in the sequence, and it's going to correspond to a chart, kind of like this one. Pause the video here if you need to reference the chart. The next thing we're going to do before picking up our trailer is test our truck wiring. We don't want to show up and not be able to tow it because we have a bad truck. So what we're going to do is we're going to hop online and we're going to grab one of these cheap and easy testers. It has a light that corresponds to each function of the pin. So we'll go through and test all of our functions, plug it in, and we immediately have that auxiliary light come on so we know we have power to the plug. Now we'll hop in the truck and test all of the rest. All right, so I'm in the vehicle and we're going to turn on our headlights. This will turn on our driving lights on our trailer. Now we'll move on to our blinkers. That's our right blinker. There's our left blinker. Now we're going to put the vehicle in reverse. This one is for the electronic brake. This light will only come on if you have a brake controller or electronic brakes. Install the trailer connector. Your 7 pin is on the bottom and the 4 pin is on top. We're gonna hop into the truck. We have our trailer hooked up, and I have an assistant out back checking my lights. We're gonna start with our headlights, which will be our running lights. And then we're gonna tap our brakes. Then we'll use reverse. And then we'll check our blinkers. My assistant's giving me the thumbs up, so all my lights are in good working condition. That's gonna wrap up our post-purchase inspection. Be sure you go through that checklist and check all of those components. If you need any maintenance before going down the road, be sure you get it done. Safe hauling.